Welcome to another edition of False Nine. I am your host, Byron. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Mark himself. Mr. Mark, how are we doing today?
A little tired. I'm good.
A little tired? All right. Well, let's get you back up and going with a little bit of Inter Miami talk um, here today. Last time we left off, Inter Miami was set to um, play a Leagues Cup final against Seattle. Um, if I remember correctly, you said, I mean, we're here. I don't care about it, but you might as well win it. Um, Besides the game, there's a lot to unwrap as to what happened once the final whistle blew. A lot to happen of some things that were said while the game was going on. But we'll get to all of those things a little bit later. Um, what did you see with the starting 11 that started that game, and B, at least what you saw in the first half?
Um, Kind of new this at all or changed much. We did see Tadeo Allende make the start instead of Baltasar Rodriguez, which kind of caught me by surprise. Given how well Baltasar kind of played in that 60-minute spot start he made against Orlando, felt it was needed, specifically because of how narrow uh, Seattle made us play and didn't play to Allende's strength, which is just getting down the field and playing vertical. Kind of found that out very soon or very early in the game as he was beat to a ball by their left back. And after that, he really, there was nothing much going for him um, that first half. So a player like Baltasar would have helped create in the midfield, create chances, create uh, little triangulations, link up play, things that were needed for Inter Miami in that game, especially in that first half. But you know, every time I see the lineup and I see that back line, I see that player start um, Lujan, I always get nervous because I know there's something is going to happen. Something is bound to happen with him starting, and I just
Mm-hmm.
can't wrap around why he's continuously starting. I don't know why there's nothing being said in Mascherano's ear as to why this player is so poor and continues to start. And he hurts us. He steps up, tries to stab at the ball at Jesus Ferreira's feet. Ferreira just half turns, plays it out wide on a touch to Alex Rodon, and De Rosario makes a run into the vacated space by um, Lujan, and he puts away the header. So he puts us already in a back foot in a game where Seattle has all the momentum, the atmosphere, the fans. They're playing on the front foot. We're just kind of there.
Lujan, Jesus.
He's been a topic of discussion lately.
What? One of two things. What pictures does Lujan have of Mascherano? Or what did Noah Allen do to absolutely be placed in this doghouse? Um, I think Noah did nothing um, to not be played as much as he is not being played. I don't think he did anything to not deserve a spot on that back line. Your thoughts?
Uh, I felt Noah Allen, especially this season, has been one of our more consistent players. Um,
Maybe the
Tremendously
best
improved.
center back we've had.
Yes, he started off in great form, and we kind of saw a little tandem being built with him and Falcon. And then one of them went down with an injury, and then they kind of like both went down with an injury, missed some time here and there. But Noah Allen, I felt, was a rising, promising star at the center back position for us, in a position that we needed depth and a position that we needed to be solidified at. And he kind of, was that player. Didn't matter how tall or whatever. I don't care about the height. He's earned that starting spot, and I just don't know why he continues to ride the bench.
Um, the first half down 1-0. Um, an unfortunate play, but we weren't in. It wasn't a. It wasn't a disaster of a half. It was,
It
I guess.
wasn't, but it was like slow. We were stuck in
Yes.
neutral. Nothing going in the midfield. Um, Alba had a pedestrian first half. Messi had a pedestrian first half. Busquets as well. I mean, the best player in that first half, the two best players in that half for us were Yannick Bright and Maxi Falcon. So Frey struggled, and you were hoping that being you were hoping at the way the game was being played that Machina would make a sub, but I have no confidence in him in making anything at this point.
Okay, you took the thought right out of my head. Everything you said about the first half was true. Going into halftime and coming out of the second half, did you have, and I guess the answer is no, did you have any confidence in Mascherano adjusting tactics or doing anything that might change the game or spark the game for Inter Miami in the second half? Or
No,
did you say at halftime, I don't think we can get one to tie this
I,
game?
I didn't say I don't think we can get one because we do have certain players on the pitch, but I didn't have any thought in my head, oh, he's going to make this sub. I told myself, we need to make a sub, but I didn't expect it to come.
What if you were in charge? What subs were you making?
Allende off and Baltasar or Segovia on.
Okay,
That
and
simple.
nothing in the back.
Nothing in the back.
So just two offensive subs.
Down 1-0, I would have at halftime you're making a sub, so you're gonna use a sub window, you're taking off Allende for one of those two players I named.
Okay, Allende for Segovia and who else?
Baltasar Rodriguez.
Okay, okay. Baltasar didn't
But
get.
that second half we
Yeah, I
were
was going to
better.
ask you what did you see in the second half?
Yeah, we were better, obviously. Seattle were defending. We were getting chances, and I've never seen a team get the two chances that we got so clear and so perfect, and then not to be put on target, on frame. One of them was by Messi, who, if he gets that chance again, it's going in. He'll bury that chance the next 1,000 times. But as soon as he didn't make that, I was like, oh, it's not written in the stars for us to win this game because he just doesn't miss that. He gets the outside of the foot on it, doesn't get the inside of the foot, and tries to go for power and blasting it just instead of kind of placing it into the side. And then you get Allende, who absolutely just misses the frame in general, just as Messi did. But we got to give credit to, and this is the only time I'll give credit to Suarez in this game, is for the play between the 90 minutes. Those two passes he made were perfect.
You mean in stoppage time?
No. The only time I'm going to give Suarez credit for this game is what
Mhm.
happened in between the first whistle and the final whistle.
Mm.
Anything after that, we'll talk about later.
Yes. Okay,
Okay,
I
so
understand. I understand.
that is the only time I'll give credit to him in this game because he gave two absolutely beautiful passes that should have been buried, and you're up. You're talking about 2-1 at that point, and then you bring on defensive subs to shut down the game.
Okay. Now, in Seattle ended up scoring two more times. What did you see on both of those goals?
Seattle made two subs in the midfield, really bringing on fresher legs and just closing anything Miami was trying to do, and that kind of killed the game off. Once Segovia came on, Schmetzer made two substitutions, brought in two midfielders, made it really difficult to get anything going, and showed his experience on the coaching on the touchline, and outclassed Mascherano, which we knew was going to happen. I didn't have any faith in Mascherano out coaching or out doing anything out tactically to the Seattle team. We're going to win it based on sheer talent alone if we were going to win this game. But he made those two subs, shut down the game. Yannick Bright goes down in the box, clips the winger in the back of the leg with his back leg. That's a clear pen. Ustadi can't save it. And then their final goal is by Paul Rothrock, kind of fitting that he scores in Seattle's win after, all the Messi jerseys were traded in for his and stuff like that. So it is what it is.
A topic that we spoke about a lot before certain transactions were made was goalkeeping. What was your thought on Ustadi in this game?
I think he had a fine performance, honestly. It was, he wasn't really tested a bunch. But I felt he was fine. He didn't the penalty is a penalty. It's a 50-50 chance. He had no chance on the breakaway. I mean on the one by Rothrock. And then he did make a breakaway save when we were down 1-0 to keep us in the game. So he kind of stood on his line there, came off, made a big save, and kept us in the game. So you got to commend him for that. So it was a fine performance. It was nothing spectacular. There was that one that Jesus Ferreira hit off the post that kind of bounced off and kind of got collected in the back of his legs instead of hitting him in the back and maybe rebounding in. But other than that, couldn't do anything on the first goal. And the penalty, like I said, nothing, 50-50 chance. I don't blame the goalkeeping for this game at all. We're really I can't blame the goalkeeping because the style of play, I don't know what our style of play is anymore. We don't play out of the back. We can't play out of the back. So he did
So
fine.
you mean to tell me that we're not playing out of the back, but
We haven't been playing out of the back the whole season.
But we're keeping a goalie because he can play with his feet?
At this point, it's kind of just repetitive in the whole cycle, the whole goalkeeping drama again. But I have nothing.
As critical as we've been of Ustadi,
I have nothing towards him. I just don't think his qualities should outshine, or are that much bigger than anyone else that we could have brought in.
No, but so like you mentioned, goalkeeping was not an issue this game.
I can understand.
As critical as we've been, we do commend him when he gives us solid performances.
Yeah, and he did. He turned in a fine performance, and he was one of the few players that could hold his head higher after that game.
I just want to make sure that we touched on it because I want to make sure that when it calls for it, we are critical of his performance, but when it calls for it, we point out that he had a very good game as well. There isn't we're rooting against or we hate Ustadi. It's simply the fact that we believe we had a better performing keeper on the bench than we did on the field. And it's nothing against Ustadi. But the game ends 3-0. Seattle absolutely dismantled us in spots.
But the game was in hand up until 80 minutes. It's just we couldn't convert those two chances, and that's what happens.
Final whistle. And can you please? We'll go ahead and talk about the incident heard around the world. Just tell us what we know now, and what your opinion is of the aftermath.
Truly a despicable showing from Inter Miami and its players at the final whistle. No excuse for it whatsoever. I don't care that there was heated moments. I don't care that there was tension. I don't care if you were being yelled at. I don't care if this and that. For a player of, uh, for a player who has been in the spotlight before for other controversies, at some point, something clicks in your head not to be stupid, not to be a clown, not to tarnish the team that you play for, to tarnish their name, and not only yours again. And what Suarez did was inexcusable by any means. I do not condone it whatsoever. I don't care what his reason was. Um, I don't care about what was said. Um, like I said, he's been in the spotlight before for other controversies back in his other teams and other leagues and things like that. There is no time or place for what he did, and I will never defend him for that. I don't care that he played for Liverpool. I don't care he's one of the greatest strikers of my generation. I don't care about that he plays for Inter Miami. I will never defend those actions because to spit at someone is truly dehumanizing. You know how low you have to go to do that? Not only did he spit at someone in their face, he was stepping on their foot with his cleat pushing down on it from a different angle on the video. I mean, I really hope this is his last season with us for those actions.
I have his. He issued minutes before the show. He issued an apology.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we'll get to it at some point, but I want to. I want to read something that Diomantis. Yeah. Yes. And to your point, Mark, and to Sean's point, here's what Tim Howard had to say. Have you seen this, by the way, Mark? Tim
No,
Howard's response to the incident.
no, I have not.
Okay. Um, this is what he said. I thought to myself, how has this guy not had his nose rearranged? Not to condone fighting, but if I bit two people, spat on someone, and had a racial incident, I'd expect someone. At some point, I'd expect someone to go, you know what? Let me take care of this guy. That's what I'd expect. The fact that he's still doing these things is crazy to me. MLS, stand up. I'm putting the onus on you, MLS. This was too far. It's a joke. You don't spit on anybody, and if you do, there are repercussions. And now this is the point uh, that you were making farther down the quote. He says, if I were walking down the street, I'd rather you smack me than spit on me. Because if you smack me, I'm going to laugh and go, all right, this is on now. But if you spit on me, I'm going to go into a blind rage. You just don't do that to another human being. The thing about Suarez is he's protected. He's not walking down the streets of New York spitting on somebody because the repercussions would be outrageous. He knows he's protected by the security and 22 other players, so he gets off scot free. But hopefully, MLS handles this themselves. Landon Donovan then added on to those quotes, saying, I say this to my kid. One day you're going to do that to the wrong person. Nobody's going to be there to protect you. If somebody on the field many, many moons ago laid him out, he might have said, okay, I don't do that no more. Opinions on the sentiment, mainly of Howard.
I mean, he's right, 100%. But like you said, he's protected. Um, I mean, I hope he doesn't play another game for us. That's what I truly hope. I mean, and I'll go. We have maybe a handful of games left. I'll go to 2 or 3 more home games when they introduce a starting lineup, and let's say he's not suspended
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know what the MLS is going to do and things like that. And he's not, and he's in that lineup. I will not applaud him. It's very simple. And just like Sergio Busquets does not get off easily. He threw a punch as well.
Yes, yes, he did.
It inexcusable. for him to lose his cool like that. Like that. Sean, I'm with you. I already, kind of do that when I go to the game. Um, I call it as I see it, bro. It's that simple.
How about
That's
this
how I
one?
see it. It's I don't think
And I
that's ever
see
gonna
the
happen
booing
because
and I see the non applauding. What a show of support for human relations, for the supporters stands, for the supporters area, for everyone to stand up. And when Suarez walks on that pitch, everyone just turns their back. Silence. Will never
I don't
happen.
think I don't think we have the balls to do that.
Correct. It will never happen.
Some people there are, don't get me wrong, there's people who will. Some people are just they don't care.
The team would never allow it. And I have thoughts on that. But
Yeah,
Suarez issued
of course.
Suarez issued an apology, and it's in Spanish. So I'm going to read a paragraph in Spanish
Translate it,
and then translate. Yeah, I'll do my best.
do it.
He states, well, we'll that's discussion for another time. He says, lo primero, quiero felicitar a Seattle Sounders por el triunfo en la League's Cup. Congratulating the Seattle Sounders. Pero sobre todo quiero pedir disculpas por mi comportamiento al finalizar el partido. He says, but above all else, I want to apologize for my behavior at the end of the game. Fue un momento de mucha tensión y frustración, donde apenas terminó el partido, pasaron cosas que no tendrían que haber pasado, pero eso no justifica la reacción que tuve. Me equivoqué y lamento sinceramente. He says, there were moments of tension and frustration where the game had just ended and things happened that should not have happened. But that doesn't justify the reaction that I had. I was wrong, and I sincerely lament my actions. He states, no es la imagen que quiero dar ni frente a mi familia, que sufre por mis errores, ni frente a mi club, que tampoco merece verse afectado por algo así. He states, it's not the image I want to portray to my family. They suffer for my mistakes. It's not the image I want to portray to my club. They also don't deserve to be adversely affected for something like that. He states, me siento mal por lo ocurrido y no quería dejar pasar la oportunidad de reconocerlo y pedir perdón a todos los que se sintieron mal por lo que hice. He says, I feel bad for what happened, and I didn't want to let the opportunity pass to recognize and ask for forgiveness to all of those that felt bad for what I did. He says, sabemos que todavía queda mucha temporada por delante y vamos a trabajar juntos para poder conseguir los éxitos que este club y toda su hinchada se merecen. Un abrazo a todos. He states, we know that there is a lot of season left ahead of us, and we're going to work hard together to gain all of the successes this club and all of its fans deserve. A big hug to everybody. Your thoughts on his apologies and my best I could translation of the apology.
No, you translated it perfectly. I mean, I read it before the show actually, like
Okay.
2 minutes. So I mean, I understand Spanish perfectly. So,
well, I'm just saying for those who may watch
you're
that aren't as versed in Spanish.
of course. Soft. I mean, it's probably just the same generic apology he issued 3 other times earlier in his career.
Do you think ChatGPT wrote it?
He didn't write it. Someone else probably wrote it. But at this, it's absolutely shameful. That he's saying sorry again and again
I agree.
and again. Like when you're truly sorry for something, you don't do it again. That's like the whole point of being
Look
sorry.
at Sean's comment. I feel like it was married to what you just said.
Yeah. Like you mess up once, okay, you say sorry, that's it. It doesn't happen again. Like you're a professional. You're a grown man. and this is the attitude and the actions we're stooping down to. Like I said, I will never cheer for him again, um, in a Inter Miami kit or anywhere else. Um, I hope this is his last, couple months with the team, as he can go retire somewhere else in Uruguay, and that's it, and leave his tainted name to be.
He can take someone
Um,
else with him back to his home country. I'm just gonna leave it there.
why you just tell me who it is?
You know who it is.
I know who it is.
Yes, you do.
Like he's dropping him off on the way.
No, no, they're going together to back to their home country. They are from the same country.
Why am I like shocked?
Yes, Sean, exactly. We all know who it is,
I apparently don't
except for
know who it
Mark.
is.
Apparently,
Who the who is the other Uruguayo or the Uruguayan player? It's
hold
not
on.
Maxi Falcon.
No, no, no. You're not understanding.
Bro, what? Ah,
Ah, ah.
yeah. It took me a little bit. Took me a second. Took me a second. Yeah, yes, yes. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, 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 yes. They can both go.
Yes, they can. Okay? Now we'll leave it at that for that one.
Yes.
But I mean, yeah. I'm telling you, I'll go to games. I'll even, if I get the chance, I'll record the player intros, and I'll send it to you so you can see what it's going to be like. But I can assure you that more often than not, people will cheer because people are blinded to anything humanly decent of anything
To
that happens.
borrow, to borrow, to borrow a word from Sean earlier in the show. The problem with being a fan is, as a fan, not as a person, because I don't know everyone out there, but as a fan, you are typically spineless. Um, you will cheer for a player because he's on your team, regardless of what they do. But um, we saw the aftermath. We saw what happened with Suarez, saw what happened with Busquets. But I want to touch on something that happened within the white lines while the game was going on, and it involves the star player for Inter Miami. There are reports that and I just want to make sure that I get the name correctly here. He told, and we're talking about Messi here, Pedro de la Vega, that as long as Messi is involved with the national team, he will not be a part of it. Um, I want your thoughts on that incident.
I mean, there's definitely like chirping going back and forth. I don't know to what extent it was. I haven't seen that post or article that you mentioned.
I'm looking for it
Um,
right now. But continue. So
I mean,
here's what
I
it
don't
says.
think it's the first. I don't think it's the first time that a player has been alienated or will be alienated from a team because of Messi. Um, Probably happened in
Here's
the past.
here's the report. You'll never play for the national team as long as I am involved.
So I don't know how serious to take him on that, or was that just like the game within the game? And I mean, I don't know.
Here's another
It
report.
just the fact that it just comes from Messi everywhere. It obviously means a lot more than it comes from another player.
Well, here's another report. Messi told Obed Vargas, and I know the show is PG-13. Um, Messi told Obed Vargas that you are shit and you will never leave MLS.
What's the difference between Zlatan saying Carlos Vela was in his prime in the MLS and not good enough to play anywhere else?
Here's I don't have
I
an
mean,
issue with
we know Messi shit talks. I mean, I don't know if
right,
this
right,
is
right. No, no,
like he might be one of the bigger shit talkers that
and
is in the game.
the reason why I'm bringing two comments
Hmm.
is because of that fact. I know Messi shit talks. He's a great shit talker, and he knows that the cameras are always on him. That's why he always
Yeah,
looks when he shit
of
talks.
course.
Right. The comment to Obed Vargas of "you are shit," you'll never leave the MLS. That's shit talking, correct?
Yeah,
Right. That's clear.
yeah.
The comments to De La Vega. Here's why they concern me. I can sincerely say right now that Inter Miami, and listen to what I'm about to say, given the team that plays in Miami Gardens and the team that plays in Little Havana, especially the team in Little Havana. Inter Miami may be the worst run franchise in the city. Inter Miami may be the dirtiest franchise in the city. They have, forget personnel, forget it. They have catered and pandered and bowed down to money streams and revenue generating than to properly conduct business as a franchise in terms of all the teams, the team you see less involved in the community is Inter Miami. Of all the teams, you have seen issues with supporters clubs, tickets, games is Inter Miami. The team that, after an incident such as Sundays, it's Thursday. What is this? 5 days later, 6 days later, five,
5.
has not put out a statement is absolutely inexcusable, unacceptable, and downright sleazy. The fact that Jorge Mas or David Beckham, who is absolutely loves to come out and talk about all of this stuff, unacceptable. And this is what I mean by it. We've seen how much influence um, uh, Messi has had on this franchise, both in and out of the franchise. What's not to say that he doesn't flex that muscle, not only for his club, but on the national team as well? So I have a little bit more of an issue with that first comment that he did to De La Vega than the Obed Vargas one. But to get back and bring it full circle to Inter Miami, at what point do you say, I kind of want my team back? I'm okay with them winning um 10 them winning what once every 10 games, but I this feels dirty to me. It feels like I no longer want to be a part of this until this chapter is over. Now, that's not true because I'm going to keep watching and I'm going to keep cheering, but there's a part of me that almost wants to step away and disown um and I feel like there's a virus right now gripped. A virus has my favorite franchise gripped, and if it means losing to get free, I'd be okay with that right now. What are your thoughts?
I think you're completely wrong. I'm joking.
Listen, and that would have
No,
been
no, 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 no,
totally
no, no.
okay. Like
I think you
that's what
are
this is about:
no.
differing opinions and
But
different
the thing is, I feel the
perspectives
same
from
way.
different
I'm the
outlets.
same. I'm the same. I'm a glutton for pain. I love going. Like I love the game of soccer. I love going to games for the love of the game. Granted, I went to games before Messi. There were
Yeah, so
some
yeah,
of those times, some of those games were fucking exciting, dude. That
listen,
Orlando game that we
my
clinched the playoffs where Campana scored from midfield, and Higuain had those two goals. Incredible. I've had some of like it's been incredible.
you
And
know how
yes,
much
Jorge
fun I
Mas,
had
but
going to games and yelling at Gonzalo Higuain pre-losing weight that he was a fat cow and that he needed to run up and down the pitch. That was me. Do you know how much I loved yelling at what was his name, McCarthy, at how absolutely useless he was?
that you mean Dax,
McCarty,
Will Trap,
McCarthy, whatever the
Will
hell.
Trap, Will Trap,
No, the goalie, the
Will
goalkeeper.
Trap. Oh, John McCarthy.
Okay, him. I mean, turned
He ended
out.
up winning. He won in the
Yeah,
MLS
no,
title.
that's what I'm saying. Like, at least with us, he was useless. But
No, but look,
do you know how much I loved yelling at Victor Ulloa that I've seen molasses move faster than he was? Like,
that
all
was a
of
good
that
one.
is, I was okay with it because you know what? He was my fat cow. He was my slow use. Like, there was,
I mean, my favorite was those 5 game losing streaks were like at one point it became something that we were only losing by 1 game. And we had like a 7 game and then we went on a 6 game unbeaten streak, and then we had a great home record, and it was like a fortress. And then Robert Taylor absolutely dunked on what's this guy's name, Sean Johnson in Philadelphia with an absolute
yes.
streamer of a volley right in front of me. Uh, I've seen
But
some great goals
see,
from
but
these
I'm
guys.
okay with the despair and the
Like, do I miss? Do I like? Were there a
hopelessness we
lot
had
of?
because that's what it was. We were hopeless to win anything, but we were
We
excited
were,
to
but
be
let me
there
tell
and
you,
cheer.
people were excited. Like there was
Yes,
but when Phil Neville finally started getting, there was a time when we got to the playoffs and unfortunately we lost to New York City. When we had Pozuelo, um,
yes,
that was a fun time to be a fan. That
yes.
was the first sign of us really being, making a mark in the MLS and finally saying, okay, look, we're getting somewhere. Now, granted, Messi's brought some great times and he brought a trophy and this and that. I will never ever frown upon that or anything like that, but it's become a clown show.
A
Um,
circus.
yeah, it's become a clown show.
And
It's the
I
inmates
feel
are running the asylum, as Sean put it.
as I've already said, Argentina is besides the USA. Argentina is a team that I love in the World Cup. It's what I grew up on. But because of that, a part of me feels almost ungrateful for one being able to see one of the greatest players to ever play the game, um, and two spitting on the fact that Messi has brought trophies. Messi has brought um, those moments of joy and happiness to this team. But at the same time, I'm having a hard time marrying and just those two feelings are the good angel and the bad angel um, on my shoulder because I've never felt more dirty or wanted to distance myself from a team as much as I have now. It feels almost as bad as um, for a little bit I felt that way, and it was only for like 3 games. I'll be honest, it was only about 3 games that I felt that way about the Hurricanes after the brawl at the Orange Bowl with FIU. Um,
Mhm.
it for about a few weeks there I was like, do I? And then like a fan, and like many here for Inter Miami will do, I forgot about it and kept cheering. Um, but this feels a little bit more This feels a little deeper than most. Yes, 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 yes. All of that. Um, well, yeah, they might. Just what are your thoughts on, I guess, the rant I just went on?
Um,
This guy wasn't
yeah,
even paying attention.
we've lost control of what our organization is, of what it this franchise was meant to be, the freedom to dream and all that stuff. Moss brothers and Beckham are just money puppets for for the MLS. They don't really care about the fans. They're hardcore fans. They're day one fans. Um, it's sad because it's the franchise that I love since day one. Um, I
Since
always
they
wanted a
announced it
team.
at Kendall Soccer Park.
Yeah, um, I've always wanted a team in Miami. Always wanted to build up because I know how soccer rich this city is, and I thought
I
it'd
have
do
a
well.
confession. I was a fan of the Fusion. I really was.
Okay,
In the clown version of the MLS before they kind of got their stuff together.
fair play. Um, and I honestly miss some of the old days,
Hmm.
where I can go to the stadium, it'd be full, but there was an atmosphere that was Miami, was what the team wanted to build. Um, so
I mean,
that's
yeah,
where
they
I
what is
stand.
it? Well, Jesus, they chose Jeter, but that was another mitigated disaster, unmitigated disaster. But um, yeah, I agree. And to touch on Sean's point, the World Baseball Classic and the end of the 23 season for the Marlins showed you that baseball can work in this city if treated properly. And Inter Miami has shown that soccer can work in this city without Messi. Now, granted, us having Messi is, you know, a godsend in terms of revenue and notoriety and recognition. But I feel like that notoriety, recognition, and revenue has come at the expense of the franchise's soul. And I don't know how I feel about that yet.
Yeah.
Yes, they filled they full blown capacity um, at Lone
I
Depot.
mean,
You're 100%
you want to talk about an organization, but you talk about a an idea that
right.
absolutely hit a home run and grand slam was the Savannah Bananas. They have absolutely knocked it
Yeah,
out of the park.
that's what Sean says right
Yeah, no,
here.
no, I'm alluding to that. I mean,
Yeah,
in general, they have absolutely just dominated the sports entertainment genre right now with what they're doing, and it's fantastic. They're selling
and
out every stadium.
I'm old enough to remember, and I don't know if you'll remember. MTV had a it was a baseball. I forget what it was, but it was almost what the Savannah Bananas are, but more gimmicky than the Savannah Bananas. Still kind of play baseball. Um, MTV had a lot more gimmicky. Where I mean, you had I might have been like a Coke, an inflatable Pepsi bottle. I'm sorry, an inflatable Pepsi can in the outfield, and if you hit it with a ball, you'd get 10 runs, something like that. And if you caught a fly ball in a square, it was like 6 outs instead of one, or 3 outs instead of one. So like that gimmicky, the Savannah Bananas took it and ran with it, and good lord, have they just they've made baseball fun for what seemed like a generation that would have forgotten baseball. So kudos to them. And I feel like it's the complete opposite Inter Miami is doing here, where they may be put off putting a lot of fans that might otherwise have been fans of this team with their actions and on and off the field.
Yeah, I mean that it leaves a sour taste in my mouth for sure. Um, I know a lot of day one fans feel the same. Uh, a lot of human beings feel the same, but those blinded by the money and the names on the back of the jerseys won't care.
And the
And especially
nationality of players as
and
well.
especially of the guys running the organization. As you noted before, how we haven't or how they haven't. I'm not gonna say we, how they haven't put out a statement condoning those actions, um, apologizing on their behalf.
How they don't have the balls to suspend anybody
I don't
is what
because
gets me.
they're using the loophole that it was not MLS regulated game, that it was a Leagues Cup and Leagues Cup will decide. But I'm telling you what it
Here's
is.
no, I
I
understand. I
understand.
understand.
I mean,
But here's where I would, you know, where that loophole closes to me: conduct detrimental to the team.
yeah,
It's not. I don't want them to suspend Busquets, Suarez, and anyone involved because they're going to miss a Leagues Cup game, an MLS game. No, I want them to be suspended because I want my franchise to have standards. And the standard here is we don't act like savage animals. We don't act like pieces of shits. We conduct ourselves like human beings on and off the field, on and off the pitch, on and off the practice field. There is a standard if you want to wear that crest. And if you don't comply with that standard, sit your ass down or hop on the next fucking plane. But that's why I want this suspended. I don't care if it was MLS. I don't care if it was a Leagues Cup game. I don't care if it was a friendly with the Coral Park soccer team. If you act that way, you need to be suspended.
I agree. I agree. And those fans, I hope they leave because some of them have the. I'm gonna say this right now. Go highlight that message that Sean put, the one previously, and
Yes.
those fans will. I can't wait to some of those fans leave. Some of them have the most. I'm not. How do I put this lightly? How to put it nicely? The most bland takes I've ever heard, and their players can never do no wrong.
You mean some fans that pose as reporters sometimes?
Anyone. I
Look,
mean,
I agree with the sentiment.
anyone. Um, just blinded by the truth, and they choose not to. Uh, they choose to go a different way rather than just actually spit out what's actually going on and try to use loopholes to finagle their narrative into certain ways.
And justify actions that are completely indefensible.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll call this the derailment of the show early.
I mean,
But now,
question: if Sean you're still here and listening, I'm sure you are. Dude, if you're ever at a game and I'm at a game, I'd love to grab a drink with you, a beer, and just kick back and watch some soccer. You let me know.
wait, reach out to
What?
him there. Reach out to him
Where?
there. You see it? F9 Mark. No, I'm pointing at your name.
Oh, you can DM
F,
me, yeah.
F9 Mark.
And stuff like that. If you do go to games and stuff, I don't know how many of these guys go to games, and if they're how many of them are actually local. I know Sean's kind of local. But yeah, it'd be pretty cool. I mean, look, for example, I was a big Miami Heat fan. I've lost a lot of interest. Basketball is my favorite sport. It's the sport I grew up playing. I still play. I've lost so much interest in that team solely because of what they've done in the organization you know, to cut corners and to just put bland and just regurgitated dog crap out on the court every season, I don't support it anymore. I can't. I mean, I watched maybe 20 Heat games and went to none last year. That's the lowest I've ever. That's the lowest in my 30 years of living, except when I was an infant and didn't go.
So I have a question. Given the fact that you feel that strongly about the Heat, and given the fact that you said you grew up playing basketball and it's your favorite sport,
What soccer?
did you win your playoff game yesterday?
Yeah, I scored 40 points and we won.
Okay, cool. Okay, you know what? Despite
It
everything
changed.
you
It
just said,
changed.
hold on,
It
hold on, hold
changed.
on.
What?
Despite everything you said about the Heat, Mark,
What?
I give credit to that organization
I
because
don't give credit to them now.
hold on, Braun was kind of like that, except
Yes.
except
Yes.
when Braun tried to flex his muscle, Pat Riley took his out and said, "Mine is bigger."
That's fine. And how well has that worked out past Braun for us?
Listen,
Because Pat Riley's lost the plot. He thinks that he can pull out the muscle and do this, and players are gonna want to come here and flash the rings. No, dude,
here's
that's not it. Like
not to get into a Heat discussion
you're gonna get me another rant now.
because Heat Check is going to take care of that in September. But I think that the Heat's issue has been we have made contractual mistakes that have set us back, and the inability to make changes to cut the losses for those mistakes in the name of winning has really hurt the franchise. But okay, yes, that's 100%. So I was talking to a friend today, and that's exactly what my sentiment was. That Inter Miami was the worst run franchise in Miami because it is the least accessible franchise of all of the franchises. 100%. It is the least accessible one in terms of community engagement, community interaction, unless you have a grainy video of someone, of a reporter recording a practice on the pitch in their whatever field.
Practice. All
You
I
don't know
see is
anything.
rondos being done. All they practice are rondos.
All the practice what?
Or rondos are they get in a circle and there's one guy in the middle and he's playing keep away. They're playing keep away from him. That's all they do. I'm
Well,
convinced nothing goes on in practice
whatever the case may be. Yes, worst
or in
franchise.
training,
But
whatever you must say.
let's move on to news and notes. Your thoughts on the big roster news? I think this was a punishment. This was a consequence. This was a I'm going to make an example of you move, even though it benefits the player. Um, yes, that is true. Yes, 100%. But your thoughts on the Kremaski move to Parma?
Good for him. I think he reached his max potential, max ceiling with Inter Miami in this organization, the way it's run with this coaching staff not being able to develop him anymore. Kind of stagnating his development at some points. So it's a good move for him into a low tier Serie A team who's gonna fight the relegation battle or maybe even finish in that mid table. See what the season's really young, so we'll see what they have. It's get his confidence back and get that European soccer flowing through him and seeing if he's able to handle it. It's a new challenge for him that I think he needed.
Let's see. Inter Miami, and I apologize because I had pulled up.
We play Charlotte on the 19th, on the 13th.
Yes, so we have an off week, and then we play Charlotte. I guess we'll preview. We'll save the preview for Charlotte for next week. I feel like
I'm pretty sure Suarez isn't playing because he has a yellow card accumulation, so that's good.
I feel like he should have gotten 500 yellow cards for his actions, but whatever. Um, before we get out of here, anything else you want to bring up?
Yeah, Liverpool sit atop of the Premier League with the most points. Dominic Soboslai, absolute beauty of a freaking goal on a free kick. Arsenal will always be like the little brothers. Never win that. Uh, where's hold on. I saw a comment. This one. I got excited because hockey season is upon us.
Uh huh.
So
Yes.
I'm just ready for the Panthers, to show Miami and everyone else how they do it.
What is it? The chase for the three, Pete?
Yeah, another the hunt for three.
Yes. Yeah, hockey season is coming up. Um, Working hard to try to get a show.
That's a Tuesday game. It'll be tough for me to make it because of work and stuff. I'll probably be at the DC United game that weekend, the 20th. But
Well,
yeah,
all right, fine. So we'll go back to back to back, whatever the hell you want to call it.
the hunt for three.
There. Okay, yeah, all of that. Yes, all of the
I'm
point
ready
is
for it. I've
three
got my
Stanley Cups.
Reinhardt. Look, I have my Reinhardt jersey staring at me, waiting for me
Which
to put it on.
I've asked you for a few times for a
What?
jersey to get me one when you go.
Well, yeah, I'll send you one now when I go.
Okay.
Well, you got to tell me who you want, though.
Jesus, I'm debating between.
My next one is Anton Lundell. Oh boy.
I don't know, man. I feel
Or
like
Benny. Might get Benny.
Benny or Carter are the two that I'm debating. But
I mean, I
I
have
could just
Forsling and Rhino. I
no
love Forsling. That's my
Rhino,
favorite player. I
Rhino
have Rhino and White.
or Barkey. I think I'm gonna go Barkey. It's either Barkey or
Okay.
Ekblad, to be honest.
Okay.
But I think I might
Fair.
go Barkey. I think he
Okay.
might be the best player on that
Fair.
squad. But
I mean,
yeah, before we get
you're
out of
not
here,
wrong. He is the best player on that squad.
anything? Oh my God, I would kill for a old school, you know, Leaping Panther Beezer jersey. Oh my God, that would be the dream right there. My favorite. That
He is your favorite Panther?
100%. He is the reason why I like hockey. John Van Beesbrook, 100%. All right, before we get out of here, anything else you got?
International break. I mean, there's nothing going on right now.
All right, who you
I
got
mean, World
tonight?
Cup qualify. Philly. I just don't think Dallas has a good defense.
I agree. I got Philly. All right, guys. So tune in Tuesday for the first regular season edition of Dolphin Chronicles.
Did you
We'll be
give your
talking about.
prediction? Did you guys give your prediction for that?
Yes, we did. And if you give me a second here,
For the game?
huh?
You gave your prediction for the game already?
For the game, no, we did. So we didn't. We had a bye week this week, but we gave our predictions for. If you give me a second here, we gave our predictions for the season, and we got an 8-9, a 10-7, and a 9-8.
What did I give? What did I say?
I think you said like 1-17-3 or something like that.
No. I said 6-11. 6-11. Then you said, oh, you can do better than that. Only 6 wins. And I said 6-10-1, giving us a tie. I think I might go with the second one.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like Burry wasn't. Pavel was kind of like that. Pavel Burry was brought in as like a money grab. He had like 40 goal seasons for us, but I don't know. He never felt like a true Panther to me. Jovo was a true Panther. Billy Lindsay, Melon B, all that original group is kind of who I resonate with. And then you had the lovable losers like the B squad, Bukestad. It was all three of them started with B's: Bukestad, Barkov, and somebody else. And then you had the Huberto years. He suffered so much, and then he gets traded for the key to the kingdom. And just so many years of fandom for the Panthers. I feel like we all deserve this. But yeah, tune into Dolphin Chronicles Tuesdays for your Dolphins talk. And now in September, we will start Heat Check for the Miami Heat. Maybe Mark will see more than one game this season. And then we are trying our best, like I said, to get a Panthers show up and running, and we'll let you guys know how that goes. So for everyone here at Kendall Sports Network, for Mark, where can they find you? Did you freeze? I guess he froze. Find him at F9 Mark. You can find me at Paramount Pete or the KSN Twitter account for everyone here at Kendall Sports Network. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Oh, look, you're back. Anything else? Nope, froze again. All right, guys, have a good one.